Previously on Historical Geocaching, I'm visiting the Huron Lightship in Port Huron, Michigan. Most recently, our tour guide has taken us to the lens room.
Looked a lot different from this. Number one, there were two marine boilers. They're called Scotch boilers. They were like 6.5 foot tall, or cylinder, 6.5 foot. Two of them side by side, and they would have stood about right here and going that way, side by side. Stacks would have went up through here. The coal bin was, we were just talking about, the coal bin was here forward. So you would have taken coal out of there and shoveled it into your boiler. On the after the boiler was a 175 horse steam reciprocating engine that turned the propeller. But then they also took steam off it to run the steam whistle for the foghorn, and to heat the ship, and to make hot water for baths and for hot, regular hot water needs. That was all done with the boiler. In 1947, at the end of the season, they took this ship up to Saginaw, and they ripped the deck off it, took out all of the steam apparatus that were in here, brought in these diesel engines, set in these 671 diesels. The diesels are 375 horsepower apiece, and they run in tandem. They have a common timing system, and they run in tandem. They're through a transfer case to the propeller. That's all they do. They have no other function other than to turn that propeller. So now we have a lot of other needs that aren't being handled by that. Number one is the foghorns. Foghorns were steam. Now we have to convert them to compressed air, and we have to have compressed air for it. And you can't just compress air as you go in a foghorn. You got to have a lot of it. So these big white tanks that are hanging on either side, back here, they're about 15 foot long or something like that. Those are compressed air for the foghorns. You see one on either side because each foghorn it's a redundant system, so each foghorn has its own supply of air. And these front service engines here, these are called 271 GMs, 165 horse, I believe they are. Another redundant system. Each one runs a compressor. Each compressor is hooked to the piping for the compressed air bottles. Each one will fill both bottles. So you're keeping both bottles topped up all the time with one. But if one of them's down for maintenance or just quits or something goes wrong with it, then you have the backup, redundancy. And now we're in the age where we're going to get modern electricity on this boat. And so we put in two more service engines, two more GM 271s, and each one has on the back of it a generator. So now we have a redundant generator system. Now these generators one of these would have been running 24 hours a day, and they run through this service panel, which was also new. And this bottom part of the service panel right here is a charger system that charges the batteries. You look back there on either side, huge black batteries. Those are 6 volts a piece, and there's 9 of them on either side, so 54 volts. And those 54 volts run the 1,000-watt light bulbs that are up there. They're totally separately wired all the way to the top, so it's a completely separate redundant system for the lights too. Big thing that would have happened in 1948 is that the technology down here changed 100%. 1947, the guy that ran this was a steam engineer. He knew how to run a boiler and all the steam engines and stuff. Spring of 1948, he had to be a diesel mechanic because all the steam was gone and diesel was here. So I don't know what happened, but I would envision that probably new people worked down here. I don't think they trained a guy to go from being the steam guy to the diesel guy in a short 3.5, 4 months. So probably new people down here, or at least a new guy in charge, and some guys that were learning as fast as they could. The biggest difference is it used to be hot down here, now it's noisy. When you have 2 boilers going, it's hot. When you have that thing running 24 hours a day, it's noisy. Yeah. So that was another big change. You went from walking around in your t-shirt and your skivvies to wearing big headphones and you didn't have to shovel coal anymore. Okay, that pretty much was the low man on the totem anyway. You know.
Well, thank you everyone so much for watching these videos. It was so awesome getting to visit this Huron Lightship here in Port Huron, Michigan. So awesome to learn all the history of this ship. So thrilled that with our tour guide, he did a fabulous job. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you so much for watching. If this is the first time you've watched any of my videos, please be sure to check out more of my videos at youtube.com/tnphotobug. Subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. And until next time, this is History Buff TN Photobug signing out. I'm indeed having a blast for the past.